Hey everybody, it's Jim Maritato, aka McManiac on the internet and host of Extraplasm podcast, and I wanted to take a couple moments to do a little mini kitchen counter review of Kip Marshall's Ultimate 84 Ectomobile decals. I've talked about these on the podcast a little bit in the last few weeks, and I haven't really had a chance to sit down and kind of show them to folks and talk about what they are. But these are the decals that Kip has available on ultimate84.com, and what you're looking at right now are the inkjet versions of those logos, which are all a little bit different, which I'll kind of talk about in a second. But these are the three logos you would need to put on the back of an Ectomobile, whether it's a Cadillac Miller Meteor or whether it's your Honda CR-V. And these are probably the highest quality, nicest versions of these decals you're ever going to find, that are the most authentic to the 1984 decals that you'd find on the car in the original movie. One of my favorite things about this is just how detailed Kip was in sort of making an awesome care guide for these. So you get this care guide that kind of talks about what the project is and what they're for. They're kind of this thing that blurs the line between prop building and fine art. And I've said this, that I feel like they're kind of like a historian project, because what you're looking at here is, the decals as they existed on each door. In the 84 movie, recreations of each one. You get a placement guide, which I think is so funny that, like, if you need to figure out exactly where your logo should go on your Cadillac, you've got an awesome explanation of this. And it's like broken down by the hand-printed edition, the inkjet edition, and whether or not you'd put them on a 59 millimeter and how to apply them best. So you get to find out, get good advice on how to install your decals, and then great instructions on like how to care for them. Like if you have the hand-printed one, you don't want to use high-pressure water sprayers, but apparently Kip did enough product testing that he can tell you how many PSI and the distance you should be if you're going to pressure wash your digital inkjet version. So a lot of care, a lot of love went into this, obviously. But these are so cool because each of these logos and each of these decals has slight differences to it. And I apologize for the glare over here from these spotlights that are in this kitchen above this, but we have to do our best. And if you look, like, you'll notice like the white space around, the logo here is a little bit different on each of these logos depending upon which one you're looking at. So if you go all the way up here to this one, you'll notice it almost doesn't exist. And you might wonder, well, which logo am I looking at? How do I know? Well, that's the coolest part. Is you flip these over, and each of them is clearly labeled, so you know exactly where which one should go. So we'll find out there that this one's the driver door, whereas the one that has no white space almost on it is going to be your passenger door. So these are, again, recreations down to the original logos that were handmade for the car in 1983, 1984 when they were developing it. And that means that you've got different variations of white space, different little differences to the shapes of some of the lines, etc. And one of the things that Kip threw in here, so you can kind of see the difference between them, is that in addition to those, he also threw in a one of his test shots of the hand-printed logos. And what you can see here is that there's a clear difference, right, in the red that's used between these two things. And these are produced using a different process, different inks, etc. Actually, now that I'm looking, I don't know if you can see how clear that difference is on camera, but here, that red is pretty significantly different, where this one is much bolder and brighter. If you're picking these logos up, these are far more limited and are generally going to go to folks who have Cadillac Miller Meteors, if you're going to get a set of these. But if you want to pick up either the individual Moogly logos, or if you want to pick up the inkjet set, this is what you're looking at. This is what you're going to get. You'll get them in what's a very cool box that looks like a pizza box, because it is. I probably just showed you all my address, which I really didn't want to do, which sucks. So there's that. I guess I get to do some editing now to pull that out of the video so that you don't have to see where I live. But the point is that I hope that you've gotten a good idea of what these logos are, how, what they're about, and you can find them over at ultimate84.com. Again, this is an amazing project, an amazing work that's been done by Kip Marshall, and I want to thank Kip for sending these along. And I'm glad to put these in my collection. And in my case, I don't necessarily have a Cadillac they're going to go on, but I think they're going to get applied in some pretty good art projects we're going to do with them. So thanks again to Kip, and again, check out those options for you at ultimate84.com.